Yeah. All right, folks. Hopefully we're back this time. Looks like we are here. All right, welcome back to continuous live coverage of the California wildland fires. This coverage of all wildland fires in the state of California. So we covered the Woolsey fire as well as the fires up in Butte County, which is known as the Camp Fire, which is the most devastating fire in all of California's history. We have a large number of people who have been killed by that fire, thousands and thousands of homes and were destroyed along with buildings. Over 250 businesses were lost. I think 253 was the last count I had. And so we're going to give you a quick breakdown of what you're actually seeing here. On the right-hand side of your screen is the firefighting efforts in Southern California at the Woolsey fire. What you have is in the upper right-hand screen, you have live video image from a really nice Eurocopter that happens to be on the lower part of the screen. And that on the right-hand side. To the right of that, you see those orange lines with that little yellow thing in there? Well, that is that exact helicopter. And the video that you're seeing in the upper right-hand corner is actually the video coming from that helicopter. So that's how we know where we're at, what we're looking at, so on and so forth. On the left-hand side of your screen is Northern California. So what we have up here is we have any aircraft that flies in the area we can identify. And that is the plane that is doing all of the spotting. And so you can look at his track and it will show you where he's at. Now there's our 747 bomber there.
So. All right, welcome back to continuous live coverage of the campfire in Butte County. Action News Now anchor Lauren Martinez joins us live from the Skyway now near Honey Run Road with the latest on the campfire. Lauren.
W, I wanted to show you this intersection real quick because there's been a constant stream of cars trying to go up the Skyway into Paradise and other communities. Obviously, residents are eager to get back to their homes, and the CHP is manning this intersection. And of course, they're telling residents that they can't and they have to go back. But we've seen a constant stream of cars, and some have even pulled over off to the side. And it's hard because obviously people are really anxious to get back and to see their communities and to see their animals and check on their pets. And so obviously it's hard to see people turning back and being told that they're not allowed to go back. But we're seeing a constant flow of fire engines and PG&E crews. Spencer Joseph is with me right now, and we just went up Honey Run Road towards the historic covered bridge, and we just wanted to see what homes are looking like up Honey Run Road, and so we'll bring you that report in just a few minutes. But right now, I just wanted to show you what the status of the Skyway and Honey Run Road look like, and of course, it's just a lot of people being told they can't go back home. So that's what's happening here. And again, we'll bring you these reports of what Honey Run Road looked like and just the home situation there. As far as we can tell, the homes right off the Skyway and Honey Run Road, there does look like there is a few, but the closer you get to the covered bridge,
okay, yes, please. Anytime you guys see anything like that, the purpose is to put the I can bring it up and put it up, and we'll put it up. So if they get evacuations or whatever, send that. And
thank you, Lauren, for that report. Court Clopping joins us now live from the Storm Tracker Center with the very latest on our weather conditions and patterns.
Okay, so we have some breaking news here. We're gonna do it here. It's ABC 7. So it might be a minute ahead of what I've already got here, but we'll take it over there and play it. So this is breaking news here, folks. There's evacuations taking place, so we're going to jump into that. Go around Facebook here. No, I don't want to create an account.
Point of what happened in the past couple of minutes. Josh, what are you looking at?
Annabelle and John, this is exactly what everyone has been talking about with the wind picking up today, Sunday, and we saw it happen. Now, this is the area that burned on Friday night, and that flare-up happened within the last hour. I'm in West Hills right now, and I want to just give you a sense of how things look right now. Very impressive effort from firefighters. California Department of Corrections firefighters, along with U.S. Forest Service, showed up here along with the city and county of LA, and they just ran into these backyards, and they have, at least from what we can see, kept some of these flames away from the homes here in this cul-de-sac. We are west of Valley Circle. We're on Strathern Street and Crawford's Court, and I want to bring in Jerry Whiteford, and you've been here with me, Jerry. You've seen this whole thing happen as we just talked, as we're showing you live pictures. Tell me just the impressive effort and how close these flames got to your house.
We are so blessed to have such great firefighters between CAL FIRE and the fire service and all the county. Our homes would have been gone, and they've done a wonderful job, so we just can't say enough. We're blessed to have them.
You and I were here. We saw about 4 pause check drop.
Yeah. Well, we should see that back up here. If you can find that somewhere else, send it to me again. Yeah, send that again. If you can find that News 7 somewhere else, we'll play it. So
Backing the fire zone, Court.
Yeah, Debbie, we do have some positive news in the forecast for today, and one of the biggest positives is that these skies are not as impacted. You can see a bit of blue overhead right now. This is a camera looking down towards the fire. Of course, you can see a lot of that haze still in the atmosphere, but you can actually see blue up above. And the reason why that's such a big deal is it means that we can start getting a little bit more help from the air attack. That's the choppers, that's the air tankers. They could come through and really help out in those remote areas that are tougher to get to on the ground. Now, as far as what we're seeing in place for today, still have a red flag warning. So fire danger is critical. The wind advisory is still in place as well, and it's for the exact area where you don't want to see a wind advisory, and that's where the active fire is. But conditions are expected to improve heading into your Monday forecast. The wind advisory, that's going to expire a little bit before the red flag warning. Red flag warning still in place through 7 a.m. on Monday. And it's a widespread red flag warning. You can see it extends into the northern mountains. It includes all of Shasta County, all of Tehama, Glenn, Butte counties, down to the south. It includes portions of Plumas County, all of Plumas County, heading down to the south and the Sierra as well. And again, the big problems we're dealing with, the gusty north winds. Today, we could see winds up to 50 miles an hour gusting. That continues tonight and for tomorrow. These strong north winds are expected to keep humidity low, and it's expected to dip into the single digits, 5 to 10%. In some areas today, 5 to 15% looks to be the spread across the valley this afternoon. And fuels, very dry. We have not had any rain recently. That's a big issue that we're dealing with right now. Fuels are as dry as they would be during the peak of fire season. So think late July through August. That's what we're dealing with outside today. Meanwhile, we do have a wind advisory still in place, and I want to show you this. It's until noon today, so winds are expected to drop off a little bit for the afternoon and then pick up again this evening. And the wind advisory is in place for areas of Butte County at the foothills. So again, the exact area where the campfire is taking place right now. It also includes foothills of Plumas County, as well as Tehama County and Shasta County. So this is what we're dealing with today. The wind advisory staying in place through noon. Different directions, not necessarily likely later today, but we have seen some areas where winds have been variable early on this morning. That's problematic. It drives the fire in different directions. We wouldn't mind seeing the winds really letting up, and it looks like maybe a little lighter this afternoon. They actually did not become as strong as we were worried about overnight, but still strong enough to be a concern. Right now, gusts in the northern end of the valley are up to 25 to 30 miles an hour. We're seeing sustained winds, 16 miles an hour for Red Bluff, 20 miles an hour in Redding. And again, I know these areas aren't close to the fire, but there's still extremely high fire danger in those areas. We could see more fires picking up, and that's the last thing we want to see. Diverting resources from where we direly need them right now, and that's in the area surrounding the campfire. Winds right now in Orville up to 14 miles an hour and then getting gusty. Now you can see the colors on the map. That's indicating gusts that are stronger than what we're seeing for the sustained winds. So you can see 14 miles an hour sustained winds out of the north for Orville right now, getting gusty moving to the south.
You got that
I
right.
also want to reference the humidity and the wind speeds heading through the end of the day. So for today, winds possibly gusting up to 50 miles an hour. At the moment, for the Feather River Canyon and Jarbo Gap areas, it's about 16 to 20 miles an hour. We've seen much worse. Thursday morning, right before the fire started, we were seeing gusts in the Jarbo Gap area reported up to 52
Again, if you like what we're doing,
heading
please like and
are
share
gusty areas.
on your social
18
media.
miles
Give
an
us
hour
a thumbs up.
So along the 149 corridor, still very breezy out there. Humidity, it's dropping quickly. Chico was up around 30% earlier, now already down to 15%. We're not even to noon.
That's not good.
Humidity is dropping fast.
Chico humidity
Dry
dropping.
day, that's problematic. 24% right now for Orville, down from 32% a half an hour ago. Humidity is dropping quickly. Winds are picking up, and that is going to keep humidity low today. Meanwhile, visibility. Take a look at Chico. Wow,
I wouldn't.
Unlimited. That's something we haven't seen in a while. That is an update. I did check this map right before we went on. It was 10 miles. Now it's unlimited. That's good news for the air attack. But then you take a look down to the south. 3 miles of visibility right now for Marysville. So we are going to see some visibility issues possible throughout the day.
Yeah, I wouldn't even touch what's in the upper right-hand corner. It's not residential. I wouldn't hit it till it got to an urban interface area. And actually, what I would do is, if it were mine, I would go to the residential areas now that are near that and backburn it. So I would do it. But no, I wouldn't drop that. That's just a waste of money, time, and risk of my men's lives and my equipment.
Also want to touch base with this map again. This is what we've been showing you earlier on. It shows you the heat signatures. We're going to go ahead and zoom in. So you can see this is a satellite that shows us where the heat signatures have been popping up over the last 6 hours. It also shows you where fire has been active over the last 6 days. So the yellow areas here, that's where fire has been active from 24 hours to 6 days out. So that's previous fire activity. The darker the red, the more previous, or the more recent the fire. So areas around Helltown, just to the south of that, you can see Centerville right here. You can see Helltown right here. Between those two areas is where we're seeing very active conditions overnight. New hotspots popping up. That's an active area of the fire. Meanwhile, the northeast corner of the fire, also very active. You can see this is just to the west of Presta, and then down to the south, we did see some areas where hotspots were popping up ahead of the main fire line. Now, one thing that you're not really seeing is too many areas where the hotspots are well ahead of the fire line. This is something we are seeing right now.
Sharon, is that the...
During the briefing this morning, firefighters were talking a lot about where we did see that early on this morning. So getting a look at the areas where firefighters are concentrating on. Another area is at the south edge of the fire. You can see this is to the north of Berry Creek. Berry Creek, one of those areas where we did see a lot of residents evacuated. That's the area where right now the fire is staying to the north. And then again, I do want to show you this because I do believe this is one of the better landmarks. If you've driven on Highway 70, odds are you know this bridge. Most of the fire activity right now is north of that bridge on Highway 70, and you can see along Highway 70, this is where we've seen a lot of that activity overnight. This is where Haley was set up overnight in the Polga area right here. That's where the fire started on Thursday morning. You can see just to the north and east of that is where we saw some of the most active conditions overnight. So we're going to keep an eye on what to expect throughout the day today. We're going to keep an eye on what the winds are doing, is looking, and what's expected for visibility. All that and more, and keeping an eye on those warnings throughout the day with the coverage you can count on right here on air on Action News Now, on actionnewsnow.com, or on our mobile app. We're streaming throughout the day.
Before it's as good as it's going to get right now, but the danger is seeing more of these flare-ups. They were able to attack this pretty aggressively and quickly, but the winds will pick up, and if there is more than one flare-up, that would be a problem.
The
Yeah, resources are thin. We are hearing some information that some of the big tankers are headed this way. The S2s are relatively small that we saw a drop there, but obviously very, very effective. But the DC-10 and the 747, they could be headed this way, and they can really put a dent in some of these flare-ups. The flare-ups up by Point Mugu, there's not much you can do about that, but this one in Malibu that you're looking at right there, they can really make a dent on that. They don't want that to go up and over the hill because right there is Pepperdine, and then like I mentioned, to the east of Malibu Canyon Road, that's trouble. That goes down towards Topanga. If you keep going to the east, and you're in big trouble then because there's so many homes in that Fernwood area that are almost impossible to defend in a Santa Ana wind condition. Yeah, and if you've driven through Topanga Canyon recently, you know there's a tremendous amount of brush in that area that has operated a long time. And boy, every time I go through there, I worry about that possibility. So let's hope it doesn't hit that way. Scott, it doesn't look like we're seeing too many other flare-ups though, other than the West Hills and Malibu, which is some good news. Yeah, overall, earlier this morning when it laid down very, very nicely, I thought we were really in trouble only on the south side of the 101. And then we had that flare up in West Hills, but they were able to knock it down quickly. We continued to the right. That's the Malibu on your left. The bottom of your screen is the 101 in Las Virgenes. That's an area that they have some concern. On the top of your screen would be the far western edge of the fire over Point Mugu. But in the center of your screen, if you go right a little bit further, north of the 101, just go to the right a little bit more, check. Now, that's some areas that did burn, North Ranch, Oak Hill, Westlake Village, some of those areas in there. And if we continue to the right, you can see that laid down very nicely. On Friday morning, there were literally hundreds of little spot fires in this entire area south of Simi Valley. That's laid down pretty nicely. I expect we're going to see more flare-ups like we saw in West Hills a few moments ago, and I think they can defend those. But if you pan back to the left, it's nearly impossible to defend those homes down in Malibu in that heavy, thick brush, and I think that really will be the concern. That and all bets are off. If this gets to the east side of Malibu Canyon Road, along Wildland Highway, if you've ever driven that, there's a lot of big homes in there, seated inside thick, heavy brush, then we're really going to have a tough time with this fire. But if we can keep it to the western side of Las Virgenes, Malibu Canyon, and then use the Pacific Ocean as a break and try and hold that there, I think they're going to be a lot better off. It'll be whether or not this creeps to the east, and I'm sure that's where the tankers are going to put most
Thanks,
of their
Sharon.
and make sure they stop that.
Thank you so much.
You guys hear that okay?
Back in with Chelsea Edwards, who is in Point Dume. We were just looking at that picture over the air. Chelsea, what are you saying before you skip?
Well, we're really seeing the wind kick up. It's coming up in gusts, but there's so much loose dirt and ash that's just covering this area. It's really just kicking up at some point. You can see it just sort of blowing in the air. Now, this particular area is heavily damaged. We're on Wandermere Road in the Point Dume area, as you mentioned, and it's just home after home after home on the stretch are just destroyed. We've seen several residents. I can see one over here. Frank, not sure if you can get there. They're digging up hot spots, trying to dig up any smoldering bits that are under all of this ash and turning them over. So they're trying to be able to put out those hot spots before they turn into actual flare-ups. This is one of those neighbors right now. Hi, good morning. How you doing? The wind just switched, he said, not looking good. Can you come over here and chat with us really quick? Do you live in this area?
Yeah. The only reason I'm stopping to talk is just to let my wife know that I'm okay. We just came out. But, yeah, the wind switched, so this is very bad because everything that burned before, the fuel that burn path was in a different direction. And so this feels different than it was before. So for instance, all this stuff that didn't burn, the wind blowing in our face now, and I just put out 2 fires right in this lot, which is going up to our house. So
what's the plan? What are you gonna do?
we're just driving around. There's a bunch of us here that are driving around and putting out spot fires. That's all you can do.
Thank you so much for what you're doing. Can I get your name really quick?
Alex Orbison.
Thank you so much.
Love you, babe. Sorry, I'm not coming home right now.
Wow. So we're seeing this again and again and again, these residents who are just here fighting the fire on their own. We talked to one resident here who stayed here, who lived here his entire life. He said he was here when the fire came through. There was not a single firefighter. This particular resident actually had a fire hydrant directly outside his home. And he said he just watched helplessly with his wife as his home went down, his neighbor's home went down, their neighbor's home went down. This is also actually part of his truck. Look at this. This used to be a red tractor trailer. He said this is his livelihood. This is what he used for work. He used to haul different equipment. You can see it's just gone. You can see these tires melted off, and then at the end of it, which you can't see, the rims actually melted off. There's a pool of metal that's just, we're still on. But Alex back here.
Hey, we need gasoline. We need gasoline. There's a bunch of locals that are going around, and the gully system here in Point Doom and Malibu Park, which have been hit the hardest, are very intricate, and so a lot of people that are coming in, firefighters, don't really know the way it works, and so the guys are running out of fuel, and so we're only able to get about 20 gallons. So if anyone is going to bring gas, please.
All right, thank you so much for that update. Again, a lot of people here calling for authorities to come and provide some assistance. Again, residents here say that there were no firefighters when the fire actually hit, and we've seen more and more community members like that who are taking matters into their own hands. They're putting out these fires, putting out these hot spots, and as you just heard him say, they need gasoline. We've also heard people up here that need water, that they need food. There's absolutely no power here. There's no cell service. So it's hard for anyone who stayed up here to get any resources and to get any information out, which is clearly what he was trying to do just then. And so it's imperative that if anyone can, if there are any resources that can come to these communities, they were really needing it for the residents who stayed. Now, there are the mandatory evacuation orders, so that is something to know.
Don't know if any of you guys have noticed.
They don't want anyone staying in these areas. Anyone under a mandatory evacuation order is, of course, urged to leave. But again, these residents here saving people's homes from the hotspots, from those changing winds. We're on Watermere Road, right near Larkspur Lane, and again, maybe a dozen homes just in this one small little area of Point Doom, just completely destroyed.
You're talking about the Rush. You're talking about the where they called it in at 6:30 in the morning and showed it, and it showed the original fire coming up. Is that what you're talking about, Russ?
Out of our camera view, there's some chickens that somehow made it there in a coop over on the other side of this property, and it looks like the fire line got right up to them. Somehow they survived. That coop survived. We're told, though, that there were other animals in this area that were not so lucky. Some of these residents keep goats, they keep sheep, they keep chickens, and the one resident that we talked to said that there's a lot of devastation, that a lot of those animals' lives were lost in this fire. So again, wind picking up here. We just heard that resident say that the wind has changed direction, something that they're very, very
I don't know what you know. Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
11.2. Chelsea Edwards, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Chelsea, thank you again. With the mandatory evacuations, it may be tough to get any kind of supplies like that into those locations. And we, of course, have trouble getting these sometimes too. But with the Red Cross, where we can help those folks out, that would be one source for resources right now.
So many people being affected by this. We've heard during the news conference there is a council member, city council member in Malibu, Jefferson Zuma Wagner, who unfortunately is in the ICU after losing his home in the Woodley fire. So very sorry to hear that he is recovering.
And a number of the sheriff's deputies also indicated they've been forced to evacuate from their homes, firefighters too. So everybody's being impacted by this, and they certainly understand how difficult this is for people because they're dealing with it too. We want to go back to Josh Haskell. He is in West Hills. Josh, I can see those trees blowing behind you. That wind doesn't look good.
Yeah, and it's only getting stronger. And when we first arrived here, it was, I would say, about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and it feels like we've gotten some gusts stronger than that, and it's kind of been blowing all over the place. I want to give you a look at what we're seeing right now. U.S. Forest Service and Department of Corrections firefighters are up on that hill right now. Some of them are cutting brush. They're going right up to that hot spot, and we have not seen the flames that we saw earlier, so that's good news. But as you can just see, the wind is not going away in this neighborhood, and the onslaught of resources that came here does not look like.
That's fine. Send it to somebody and let them look at it. We've already aired a bunch of video from, yesterday I aired the video of the radio traffic. I showed the video of where the report was issued, of where PG&E had a problem on the line. And then we had the firefighters report radio traffic of the fire 32 minutes later, I think it was. So we covered all that yesterday.
The wind's going pretty fast, but these guys are doing a great job. They came up here, responded very quickly.
You can put it here. That's fine. We'll look at it.
Saving the homes.
We just talked about what it was like. I was standing with you and some other neighbors, and it seemed like you guys were kind of losing hope and maybe thinking about leaving. And then that first frost check came through, and everyone in this neighborhood yelled for it.
Yeah, it's a huge sigh of relief seeing those planes, the helicopters just coming back and forth. Saw about 3 plane stops on fire retardant. Helicopters have been here for 2 days. Yesterday, it seemed like we got, I guess, a false sense of hope. It seemed good, no wind, and then this morning just...
Okay, yeah, explain.
In fact, doesn't look like you plan on going anywhere right now, but is your car packed or what's your situation? Yeah, we've been packed since Friday. Just decided to be safe. My car's right around the corner. I got it out, ready to go, just if we need to. But yeah, we're gonna hunker down and be here until the last minute. In fact, lastly, there were some firefighters in this area, but let's talk about the amount of engines and power that came through. Were you impressed that it almost was like, and they are waiting for this, and they are looking for flare-ups? Yeah, definitely. Well, I was here not last night, 2 nights ago, and there was nothing like this. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost maybe 15, 20 engines here. We've got hundreds of firefighters. It's just a great response, and they're doing everything they can. And the neighbors here are also helping out. We got waters for everyone, and it's been great to see the response over here. But Zach, is it concerning that the wind's not letting up? The wind is not letting it up at all. And as you asked me that, this just get a huge gust. Maybe, I can't tell. It's very powerful over here right now. I want to just talk to one more resident here. You just moved to this community. You and your wife, tell me your name, and you guys moved here 4 days ago? Yeah, we're deep in Archer to that, and we just finished construction on a house 4 days ago. And, we woke up, we were supposed to spend this weekend enjoying our home. And Thursday, just woke up to this craziness out here. The incredible thing is the firefighters. I mean, there was a fire march and we passed home, and we stayed up all night Friday night. And there was a fireman standing right next to us, just letting us set at ease. The neighbors united. They say, my son says this. Why does it take a tragedy to unite neighborhoods?
Yeah, I know who that is. Until I reviewed that very closely, I'm not putting his stuff on my channel. So yeah, I would have to review that later and determine whether or not I'm going to air that. I know that guy, so yeah, I'll have to review that word for word before I would put that on my channel. So thanks for sharing it. Appreciate that.
It was crazy this morning at 7 in the morning because it literally happened in 10 minutes. Yesterday was a calm before the storm, and 10 minutes it just kind of like blew up. But these guys are amazing. They're amazing, and just, we're praying for the best. I think the worst is over, so we should be good now. We didn't realize it because when we moved,
yeah, he's a pilot.
Our neighbor told us that you'll know it's really bad if your house is a fire station. It's a central station. It's a central station right now in our driveway, so it got real, but we're good.
We were showing our viewers a live picture of an LAPD officer helping some folks evacuate. Earlier, I saw a bunch of neighbors.
Yeah, he's not an official source. And I watched all of his coverage of the Oroville Dam. A couple issues I had with him in the Oroville Dam. That's why I'm hesitant to throw it up now. I just don't want to. Again, here I could go back to these guys. If he spreads false information or something and that's not accurate, people say, "Hey, Lee, you spread that." Well, I can't go back and say, "Well, that's what the news was reporting." I can say, "Oh yeah, it was a guy in a single engine airplane that flew over and said that." So that's, thanks for sending it, and I'll take a look at it here later on. Maybe even look at it on my phone and watch it and see what we get there.
And now let's check back in with Rob Hayes. He was at the news conference a moment ago with LA County fire officials. Rob?
Yeah, that briefing wrapped up a short time ago. The big message they're trying to get out: if you're within an evacuation zone, evacuate. It's a very dangerous situation. The wind is picked up. Let's talk to LA County Fire Chief Darrell Onsey. First of all, talk about that. People needing to get out, even though the fire may have passed them by.
Yes, no, we have a mandatory evacuation. So if people are there, but they need to leave soon. The fact of the matter is that when we were talking earlier, our number one priority is life, then property, then containment. So if our firefighters are going to confront citizens, that it's going to hamper their ability to protect their homes and contain the fire.
Talk about.
All right, guys, you mind giving me a thumbs up? We've only got 22 thumbs up, 3 thumbs down, and we got 102 watching.
Now for our wins today. Since Tuesday, we're in extreme fire conditions. We're really concerned about the footprint of this fire. There's a lot of unburned fuel and structures within the footprint. So any input to still burn homes and fuel within the footprint of this fire. And then we're concerned about all the perimeter of the fire.
So like and share, guys. Like and share.
Just behind us here, I'll step out of the way. I mean, we see this looks like a flare-up. Where do you think that is? It seems southwest of where we are now.
Yeah, it looks like this still.
All right, thanks, buddy. Greatly appreciate it.
And that's just an example of some of the unburned fuel that's still within the footprint of the fire. They can still burn Fort Malibu, still burn houses, still consume brush. still put people buy some impact if they're not.
Yeah, I need 4 more. That's how you get your 7.
Also, the moving further south into Malibu, the south side of Malibu, the thing is painted to the south. So really excited about that happening today.
Earlier, too, you were also explaining in the past when our fire season kicked in, we were able to.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
From up north. That's no longer the case.
Climate change is real. Typically, this time of the year when we have a.
Thank you. Yeah, like, subscribe, and share on your social media. We're down to 94, 96 viewers. This is impacting over 100,000 people, and we've got 96. Yeah. Thank you, Robert.
So, do we have the manpower?
Yeah, I've got 40 now, according to mine. So thanks, guys. Appreciate that going up there. Like, subscribe, share on your social media. Get it out there so everybody sees this is where it's at. I mean, this is what news coverage is supposed to look like. Not, well, we think, kind of, maybe.
Undoubtedly, there are some people who are watching right now who may not have evacuated. Again, your message to those people is what?
I think.
All right. Thank you, John. Well, the thumbs up give us, try to get more people to it. So if you're watching, give us a thumbs up. That's what brings people to the channel and lets us grow and get the information out there. Oh, we lost our helicopter.
Thank you so much. We'll talk back with you in a little bit. So there you have it. That is the big message. If you are within an evacuation zone, get out now because these winds really are kicking up. We have wind screens on our microphones that are designed to keep the wind screens, the wind noise out. I mean, if I take this out, maybe it'll give you a better idea of just how strong it's blowing. We get pushed in on some of these as well. The wind is gusting. It has picked up considerably just in the last hour. And that flare-up we saw over the mountain over there, that was another good example of how they're making this fire flare up again. This about an hour ago, the skies all around here were clear. You didn't see any plumes. That thing picked up and it kind of caught us all by surprise. But that is the message here. They spent about 45 minutes in that news conference, and it seemed like every fire official, every law enforcement official was kind of saying the same thing. If you're supposed to get out, you really should get out. Because you do not want these fires to kick up again near your home and then find yourself trapped.
All right, guys, if you like the programming, please consider donating to the channel. You can do it through our Patreon account or through our PayPal account. The links to both of those are in the description below. Please like and share on your social media. And dozers are working hard in up on the campfire.
It's just critical right now, in my opinion, from what I see from Air 7 ATD, is that the fire does not from this point to the east. It doesn't get to the east side of Malibu Canyon Road. It's going to be tough to stop it from going south into Malibu, but some of that area already burned. But if we open up a little bit and show you downtown Malibu, you're going to see a portion of Pepperdine in this shot, I believe, off to the left. And we can keep going left a little bit more, and I want to show you what I think the real concern is you come down with a camera and you get to the eastern side of Malibu Canyon Road on Wildland Highway, the bottom of your screen, that area is going to be nearly impossible to defend. And if we keep going to the left a little bit more, you'll see how big that area is, and then you go a little bit further, and you're to Topanga Canyon. And then once you get into Fernwood, all those homes are just nestled in almost like a forest area. So we'll come back out to the right and show you. I really believe the retardant drops are going to be right on that western edge of Malibu Canyon Road to stop this fire from spreading to the east. You see another one there, and you see the pod check. They're hitting it hard. I want to pull out a little bit and go to the right and show you what's going on, though, as we have these increasing winds up towards Point Magoo. That is the other area that is really starting.
This, I can't remember what they call this stuff here that they use for the retardant that's here. Can't remember the name. Sometimes when I can't remember names, guys, ain't because I'm stupid, it's because I had 2 strokes in July and I just ain't quite all there yet. So it's been a year and 6 months or whatever. So my short-term memory sucks. But they'll say it again. But we used to make it. It was kind of a slurry. It was kind of made out of like limestone, or not limestone, but calcium, lime, and water and food coloring is what it was made out of in the olden days. Now they call it something else, and I can't remember what they call it. Somebody will put it in here, I'm sure.
Ranch, that area up in there that burned Oak Park, but that looks pretty darn good in comparison. I will go back to the left and just show you one more time. South of the
Yeah, thank you, Adam. Greatly appreciate it.
We shall have some hot spots, I'm sure, on the northbound side. But down along the Santa Monica Mountains, we're going to be in trouble. I see that there's some activity on the 101 freeway as far as it looks like they're moving around a bit, but I don't see that they've opened it yet. They may. It looks like they may get.
Yeah, give us a thumbs up. Like, share us on social media. Put it out there. That's what we need to do to get this out here. Because, like I said, right now we've only got 125 people watching this. That's ridiculous. When I covered the fire the other day, I had 1,200 people watching this, and now I've got 128. So we are being suppressed, no doubt about it. So like and share, like and share, like and share on social media.
Right now, I believe it's Upper Hills, near Upper Hills High School, and it looks like it was put out. It isn't a major concern right now, but obviously keeping an eye on this as well.
Yeah, just a small little flare up there. It looks like it's pretty much out at this time. Yeah. We'll keep an eye on that as well. Also, let's check in with Kimmy Evans and the update on the winds. Kimmy, it looks like it's really picking up.
So we've been talking about that all morning long. That it was nice and quiet early this morning, but that things are going to start to pick up. And it does alarm me just a bit when people say, "Oh, the worst is over," because as I look at the data, it doesn't look like that. It looks like things are just about to get started. In fact, let's take a look. The coast and valley areas, we are looking at wind gusts getting to about 40 to 50 miles an hour today. For our mountain communities, 50 to 60 miles, and humidity levels, they just drop down into the single digits. So very dangerous conditions. Here's what we've got in terms of our wind speeds right now, looking, well, pretty mild, about 15 to 20 miles an hour, depending on where you're at. Thousand Oaks coming in with these northeast winds at about 17 miles an hour. So as you can see, these winds obviously are kicking up. You saw Rob take off the windscreen off of his microphone, and you can just hear the wind starting to pick up, and some of those gusts are coming through. That's going to start to cause some more problems, and these airplanes flying over, it just looks so small compared to these areas that they are trying to protect. So, but yet they are.
I love it. My computer says I have 59 thumbs up, and my cell phone says I have 55. They're both live. Great, thank you.
Late tonight into the overnight hours and early tomorrow morning as well. Take a look at that. Monday morning, 7 a.m. Some more winds continue to move on through Thousand Oaks. We've got Oxnard, Malibu, Calabasas, San Fernando, Santa Clarita, and anything up in this area is going to continue to move on.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I am suppressed. I am unbelievably suppressed. We have actually had 100 and some thumbs up on a video and watched them disappear before our eyes and go back down to 34 videos with 100 thumbs up. We've actually watched it go back down. I have another video where I have 40 thumbs up, but Google only says that there are 7 views. So how do you have 7 views on a video and 40 thumbs up? Yeah, yours says 48. Okay, I got 134 watching, but now the computer says I got 66, and the cell phone says I have 55. So yeah, they're suppressing it. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist either. But that's just the way they do it. So yeah, you guys are actually seeing it, but you would think that considering that we had over, a couple hundred people. Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it, buddy. Like and share it on your social media. Give it the thumbs up and share it everywhere you can. And see, hey, you just refreshed and it says 60. That's what I'm talking about. And see, you say 137. I don't even have that. Mine says I only have 135 viewers. Now I got 134 viewers. So I'm losing viewers. So yeah, share this on your social media. Share it everywhere. Share it anywhere and everywhere you can, because again, to have 500,000 people in danger of what's going on out here and only have 134 people watching it, it's absolutely insane.
And in terms of our temperatures, somewhat cooperating, still above our seasonal average, and we certainly don't like to see that. And these winds sticking around for several days. Now, one thing I do want to mention now, today about 78 degrees for LA and Orange County. Those temperatures climb over the next couple of days, getting even hotter for us. Even today above our seasonal average, but getting
141 now. Yep, thanks guys. Just keep sharing it.
We're pumping up to about 45 miles an hour.
If you like the programming, you want to help us continue to do this type of programming, we are 100% viewer supported. So without generous people like you, we're not able to deliver this content, which goes basically commercial. There are no commercial interruptions. We are feeding all of these streams live, and we stay right on top of them. Plus, in addition, we're monitoring all of the background communications of all of the dozers, all of the airplanes, all of the fire trucks, emergency fire rescue, law enforcement, and federal frequencies, as well as the air bosses for the U.S. Forest Service and
close to 80 degrees. Now that's at the beach on the sand there. Mountains.
Yeah. So earlier fire retardant was a mixture of water and thickening agent, which was calcium to us. We were rednecks, and so we used lime with red food coloring, and that's what we used.
Pushes out, gets very windy for us. So that's why these gusts are coming in at about 50 miles an hour.
Wow. JD Powell's got 21 likes. That's insane, dude. Yeah. What country are you in?
Even on into Tuesday, and Desmond's also gusty winds at about 50 miles an hour. All right, that is the check of our forecast up in the back of the weekend. Thank you so much.
Looking at that recent 10 left there to drop to a lot of resources now on the scene. Chelsea Edwards in Point Dume. Chelsea, how's the wind there? It looks kind of calm almost.
You know, it keeps gusting. It picks up for a while, then it dies down a bit. Right now, it's actually gusting quite well. You know, we're in the Point Dume neighborhood on Waterville Road.
Yeah.
And we've seen quite a few residents here who have been going around, putting out hot spots and trying to save people's homes. One of those people, Santos. Alfonso, tell me what you guys are doing.
4 cell phones is what it takes to make this work.
That did not evacuate. We had planned on evacuating, and we have our cars ready to go.
And all of them are streaming HD. That's how I get this on the screens here.
It's blowing up intermittently. And what's happening is some of the places that have already burned are still sizzling. And so what's happened now is that the gas company has about 100 workers here with about 50 trucks taking care of the gas lines that were broken and that were erupted, shooting out, spewing flames at 3, 4, 5 feet in the air. So they're trying to put those out in an effort to, when the wind comes, in an effort to keep more flames from igniting more structures that are still intact and causing more fire carnage from the houses that are existing. It's not like an articulated.
Now, sometimes emergency personnel are urging everyone who are under these mandatory evacuation orders.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of the thumbs. So every time you see them disappear, go back in and nail it again, because they'll keep deleting them. Yeah, we're the only news channel that's giving it all to you raw. You know, this is exactly as it is. I mean, the footage in the upper right-hand corner is raw. That's straight off the helicopter. Okay, there's no interruptions. There's no delay. I can even show you where that helicopter is. You know, so we're giving you everything and letting everybody see what's going on. You know, so that's why we do this, because nobody else was. You know, you couldn't get timely information. You couldn't get information on both the fires. Everybody's running around all day. Yeah, again, your thumbs up disappears. You got to thumb it again, because they're, you know. No, I do not. All I have, I do not have a backup channel. All I have is I have a regular show that I normally do every night at 9 o'clock, where we talk. It's called All Source Intelligence is my regular show.
So we're here to use some of the swimming pools and then use a pump to pump water from the pools to knock out some of the hot spots.
No, because the law enforcement won't let you walk up there. So you can't walk up to Chico right now. You can't walk up from Chico.
get out. Jonathan
Yes.
and his team.
23, 260, and I have the number of 263, but I guess 3 of those were sub buildings of other businesses.
Actually, in a bunch of different places over in this area on Wanderville Road.
They keep saying 260 businesses, but the number I had recorded was 263. Thank you, Mrs. J. That's all we can do is try to share it. It's unbelievable that, you know, like I said, 500,000 people. But anyway, I normally do a show every night at 9 o'clock on this channel, you know, in Vennerly, Wilbarger, talking about the world and what's going on.
The actual metal, they're just sitting in a pool just down at the end of
Yep, so like and share,
and the fire was just so hot,
all over your social media.
so intense, just whipping through home after home after home.
And see, I was told once I get over 3,000 subscribers, that I wouldn't have this problem anymore. The problem is they keep taking my frigging subscribers. So, you know, it's kind of difficult to
And, you know, those who were listening to that news conference, they kept saying this is not
deal with it that way. So again, if you're watching the program, you like the program, you want to continue to watch the program, you know, please share on all of your social media so we can get this word out. So thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it, guys. People like you that make this possible.
Right behind these homes. We're not seeing those flames anymore, but I want to
Yeah, great. Thanks.
What's happening up on the hillside there? You see in orange the California Department of Corrections crews. In yellow, you see the U.S. Forestry crews. They are working hand in hand to clear brush. They're not just looking for hot spots and leaving.
All right, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Up there, and they're clearing any remaining brush. You see some of the red spots on the hillside. That is from the pause check-off that came in here so quickly. When those flames
Foss check is what they call it.
About 25 to 50 feet from
I can't remember what's in it anymore. But
so Donnie, we were speaking earlier. You said that you were working on your house. You moved to this neighborhood.
Yes. People get unsubbed all the time. My wife has had to resubscribe to me like a dozen times.
You know, what I saw walked up there were young
So,
men.
you know, the news media giants don't want coverage like this. Because all the news media outlets could do coverage like this, but they don't. You know, I mean, what other channel has all of this live stream? This is raw, folks. That airplane is flying right there, right now. I can take you on a map and show you that airplane, just like we have on the upper left-hand corner. So, you know, that's what we're here for, is to get everybody the warnings that they need, talk about what needs to be done.
Energy that really seemed like you were gathered with some neighbors that you maybe just met for the first time.
Get the raw information out there. Tell the truth. Things that pertain to these people. So again, thank you, everybody. If you are watching now, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up. Please share us on your social media so everybody can see what's going on here. And if you can afford to do so, help us out and donate to the channel, because we are 100% viewer funded. Without good people like you, we can't give you good content like this. It's you folks are what makes it possible for me and my wife to be able to do this, because without you, we can't. I can't tell you how much a 747 carries, buddy. I forgot that. I would have to look that up, but it's a hell of a lot. That's why they use them.
Thank you. Thank you so much for talking to us. I appreciate it. So, Annabelle and John, that is the view right now in this West Hills neighborhood near Roscoe, south of Valley View Circle. And it has just been quite a morning, Valley Circle. It has been quite a morning for everyone who lives here, as they were, just to recap,
see if I can
evacuated
find
Friday when the fire came here, came back last night. Many of them spent the night
here,
and then they were about to leave again, but it happened so quickly that they just stood in front of their homes really in horror until the firefighters just rolled in and put out those flames. I would say within 20 to 30 minutes. You saw the view from Air 7 HD, and now they're just making sure that this doesn't start back up again. Reporting live in West Hills, Josh Apple, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you so much, Josh. A programming note, today's episode of Jack Cannon's Wild Countdown has been preempted due to Eyewitness News coverage of the fire emergency. Tune in next week for a new episode.
We want to go back up to Scott Live on Air 7 HD. view over, I believe this is Malibu, right, Scott?
Yeah, John and Annabelle, this is the area we've been looking at since early this morning at 4:30. We got airborne. This was the only hotspot north of downtown Malibu, if you will, and just to the west side of Malibu Canyon Road. That's Malibu Canyon Road right there. And we're going to video shot this going to, but it's a great shot right here. We have the DC-10 coming right at us. It gets a little buffeted. You don't see too many drops from these type of aircraft, one this big, down in a canyon. Usually they're on top of a ridge line. But there is so much concern about this fire spreading to the eastern side of Malibu Canyon, up towards Mulholland Highway, down to that southern portion of Malibu Pacific Palisades, that they want to make sure they protect this. I think they're putting all their effort there. 11,600 gallons. Look at that airplane move when they made that drop and got rid of all that weight.
Yeah, buddy. He's pulling up.
They do the drop on the top of a ridge line, not down in a canyon like that. So that's pretty impressive. But that's a real important spot for them to protect. We're back out to the live shot that we're targeting really stalls the fire. Out a bit, and that's what we're seeing. I want to tilt up one more time and show you the other loom up, though, and the other area that really is giving us a lot of concern. We pan to the right, and that'll be above Pointy Magoo. That's really starting to take off. If there's any good news, we don't see any flare-ups in that area north of 101 or around Westlake or Gurr Hills. That's relatively calm for the moment, and there's a lot of structure protection in that area. Up there, what you're looking at right now, there's very little structure protection for the homes that are nestled in there. There's not a lot of them, and that's because it's so tough to get in there. Even with the firefighters, it's dangerous. A fire that big moving down through some of those good roads up in that area. So overall, it's south of the 101 that really gets.
All right, well, we need another 5 video here, guys.
Make sure it doesn't get any further to
these guys.
We want to go back to Josh Haskell in West Hills. It sounds like he's got some firefighters there to talk with us.
Yeah, we don't have any firefighters because right now, obviously, they're a little wrapped up. But just want to show you what's happening here. This is from the U.S., actually from Cal Fire. They went off. They're one of the first teams arrived here. They're loading up, which is a good sign that they cleared one of the areas, the equipment that they're using. And this is kind of the theme here in West Hills, went from bad to a little bit better, and now it seems like they're moving on to another location. A lot of teams here in Manpower that came into this particular area, and just hearing from that one couple, and I saw it myself, John and Annabelle, was pretty amazing to see just the neighbors. A lot of them didn't even know each other. That couple moved here 4 days ago. To see those neighbors kind of come together and just watch in amazement as these firefighters save their neighborhood.
Thank you so much, Josh, for that update and showing us a picture of the structure protection in that area. Let's check back in with Scott Wright. Scott, we were just looking at some problem areas. Where are you right now, right over?
But someone else was speaking out about if you're talking to Air 7.
That's a Type 1. That's a Sikorsky Sky Crane. That's the most badass helicopter for fighting wildland fire that there is, which you're seeing there on your lower right-hand corner.
Most of the other flare-ups are to the south along the 101, and like Josh mentioned, we are going to see those flare-ups up in those areas around West Hills, North Hills, up towards 1,000 Oaks. But there's a lot of structure protection in place for that. It's Malibu that really is the worry. But boy, there's a first line of defense. And when they do have something break out, there's 3 of the Sky Cranes on this, 2,800 gallons of water. And what's so effective when they drop is they drop exactly where they need that water. They can save homes by the dozens when they move in. But right now, it looks like you're just patrolling for some hot spots in this area. I think they're going to hit that area Malibu very hard here with the helicopters, and we've already seen it with the retardant drop. They've got to stop that fire from spreading to the east. If it heads east, down towards Pacific Palisades and Topanga Canyon, and then we're really going to be in trouble, I believe.
Scott, it's actually good news that he's looking for someplace to drop that water. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen more flare-ups. I mean, considering the size of this fire, the terrain.
Well, one of the things, John, is you were down on that line as well. Out of Simi Valley, as the fire burns to the south, there's medium brush in that whole area, that whole ridge line, as it moves down out of Simi Valley along West Hills, along the western edge of the San Fernando Valley. And what happens is it's burned up most of that brush. I mean, it's burned up right up to the homes. So we're going to have some flare-ups, but I believe they're going to be in the thick, heavy brush south of the 101. So that area that's just charred up towards 1,000 Oaks, south of
get a flare up in there, but there's not a lot of fuel, and that's one of the reasons we're not seeing a lot of these flare ups north of the 101. Let's hope it stays that way. Okay, Scott, thanks for that. I think we want to check in with Timmy Evans for the latest on weather conditions.
Still obviously starting to pick up for us as we've been seeing. They certainly are starting to, we're starting to see some of these gusts, but coast and valley locations, we're looking at winds that's getting to 40 to 50 miles an hour today. And the mountains about 50 to 60, but the humidity levels are going to stay dry for several days. So very low humidity levels. Right now we're seeing these winds, sustained winds.
Oh, okay. I see what we got going on here, guys.
17 miles an hour through,
They're done with that feed, so
as you notice,
we'll have to find another one for that.
Here, you can see the winds are going to start to intensify and then take a little bit of a break into this evening and then kick up again for us once again. So we're not really seeing a huge break in terms of these winds. Continuing to see these offshore winds. So we are looking at these Santa Ana. We're looking at what's going on tomorrow morning. These winds start to return for us into tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. You can see these colors when you see the orange and the magenta. We're talking about winds in the 30, 40 mile per hour zone. So that's going to start to stick around for us or move in. And then as we get to 11 a.m., those winds intensify even more so. So we certainly aren't out of the woods at all. We are looking at these winds starting to develop right now, continuing into later today and then into tomorrow. They really start to kick up for us once again. So a lot of dangerous conditions for us. And then into tomorrow evening, we might see things quiet down just a tad, but notice these winds just really being stubborn, sticking around for quite a while. And notice the direction as well. Now, yesterday I showed you this also, and these winds were going every which way, and that's because we saw a shift in the wind. We were seeing onshore winds, offshore winds, so they were kind of moving around. But now it's really set up to move offshore. We've got the Santa Ana, these northeast winds really coming in and potentially causing a lot of damage. So right around lunchtime here, we're looking at 30 miles per hour sustained winds, just to about 45 miles an hour, and even into 4 p.m., seeing these gusts in the 40s. And you think things will quiet down by 8 p.m., but even then we are seeing these gusts coming in at about 25 miles an hour. So very windy conditions with gusts picking up. We're already seeing a lot of that. We do have this red flag warning posted by the National Weather Service lasting until Tuesday at 5 p.m. And it's not just that. We've got, again, these gusts for our mountain community, 50 to 60 miles an hour lasting until 5 p.m. as well. And we also have a wind advisory. So we've got a lot happening all over the Southland. But obviously in these fire-prone areas, we are looking at very dangerous conditions as these gusts are moving through at 30, 40 miles per hour winds. And then we might even see some of these gusts into the 50 and 60 miles per hour zones. So this is sticking around for several days here. So right now, though, we are looking at temperatures that look to be peaking in the upper 70s, but into tomorrow and into Wednesday, these temperatures are increasing as well into the 80s. And Wednesday, just when we think the red flag warning is going away, well, we're still seeing dry conditions. So bone dry conditions for a handful of days here. And these temperatures just increasing over the next few days. 77 for the valleys and IE also getting intense in terms of our temperatures increasing there. But we are looking at these gusts also for the valleys and inland empire coming in at 45 miles per hour. And the beaches, obviously Malibu, a very dangerous area right now, still seeing some very, very windy conditions with the red flag warning also sticking around for the mountain communities where we are seeing these gusts into the 50s. That's at least what we are anticipating for today as these firefighters are working very hard to put out these flames. Deserts, you're looking also at gusty conditions to about 50 miles an hour, sticking around for several days, even with these very, very chilly overnight temperatures. And as I mentioned, we are still seeing some very dry conditions as we head on into Wednesday. So very, very dangerous conditions. Yeah, we've got a lot in store for us over the next few hours and the next few days. That is a quick check of our forecast.
Zillow, you can tour homes anytime, and we want to check back on Rob Hayes. Rob, I believe you're in Thousand Oaks. What's the latest there?
Yeah, that's right. We are Thousand Oaks at Conejo Creek. This is one of the bases for the firefighters. They wrapped up their briefing a short time ago. The winds have picked up considerably. We're here with Captain Brian McGrath with Ventura County Fire. Talk about these winds.
Well, it was nice yesterday. We had a little bit of a lull, so we were able to get a little bit more containment on the fire. Expecting these winds to come up today, and they have picked quite a bit up. we were where this fire first started.
Is this one of the concerns? When you have people who don't evacuate, they may have thought, wow, I made it through Friday, I'm in the clear.
Yes, definitely. People think that just because yesterday was a nice little day, maybe there's some burned right around their house. You're in that mandatory evacuation. It's still important to get out. Because even though your house may be clear, there's other houses and support facilities for yourself that we need to get back in order.
We were looking at the map here. There's 10% containment. You were explaining, it doesn't mean like one big wall of containment.
Not necessarily, no. The containment is where we tie in the different areas to make sure that that fire is not going to be going anywhere. If I was backing into Simi Valley, they may have got some areas where it was able to get good, solid black line work. I'm confident that it won't spread in that direction.
So with this wind blowing, the wind seems to be blowing towards the coast again, right?
Yes, typical Santa Ana winds right back. Dry, warm. Creates low humidities and super hot temperatures.
So, Chris, if you turn around, it looks like that plume's kicking up again. You think this looks like it's the Malibu area, right?
You know, I'm not quite sure exactly where that is. I do know that it's impacting Malibu and heading all down towards PCH.
You see that plume, and again, this is a good indication of this wind kicking up.
Yes, definitely. You can see how the smoke is laying over. That's the direction the fire is going to be going. So if that smoke's heading towards you, you do not want to be in that area. You want to move out of the way of that.
You know, a lot of folks will say, "Well, I want to stay home. I want to protect my stuff. I've got a garden hose. I'm gonna hit it with with some water and protect my structure." What can you do with a garden hose?
Very little. It's like throwing a water balloon up in the air against it. It's just not doing much. It's water that you're putting on the plants now on your house. And they think pre-treatment, that's not doing anything. It dries instantly with the wind, and with the flame front coming in, it does no good to do any pre-treatment.
Then now you have someone who's behind the fire lines, and it puts other lives in danger.
That's correct, because our first priority is always life safety. So if you're in there, we cannot stop to save your house when we have to protect you. So that not only puts us in harm's way, but also puts yourself in harm's way.
We're looking at 83,000 square acres, I believe, right?
Yes. As of this morning at 7 a.m., before the winds were blowing, we were calling it 83,000 acres.
And latest numbers, I think there's still a little data. It was 177 structures, the last that I saw, that were confirmed destroyed. Yeah, 177. That number's going to jump, isn't it?
I cannot say for sure, but we're still assessing all the structures, so that number is a work in progress.
And all right, so again, the message you have to people out there right now is
when you're in a mandatory evacuation area, please get out. We need you to get out early for your safety and for the firefighters' safety. We need that quick evacuation progress. For up-to-date road closures in Ventura County, go to bcemergency.com and have all information for road closures for Ventura County. You have LA County streets and evacuation on that as well for the whole incident. Like I said, please evacuate early. If you, for emergency notification, go to bcalert.org and register your mobile device, and we will send you alerts on emergency information, the area you're in.
Captain McGrath, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it. Good luck with everything. Another point they made during the news briefing is freeways and streets. Certain freeways, 101 is reopened in some areas. Some of the streets in these evacuated areas have reopened. If they're warning people, there's still a lot of emergency vehicles in the area. Please drive slowly, drive carefully. They're all over the place, and we don't need any other reason to have another 911 situation when we've got all these fires burning right now. So we'll throw it back to you.
Oh yeah, we know the trolls are coming.
Still within reach. If you can ask them about a possible
As soon as you start getting, again, folks, if you like the broadcast, please like and share, like and share, like and share. We are being suppressed by YouTube. We're being suppressed by all kinds of people. You want the map of the hot spots? On which fire would you like the map of the hot spots? We are covering multiple fires here. You want the ones in Northern California or the Southern California? Which would you like?
Well, between cameras that are pointing in the area, RPs that reported where it was at, we triangulate where exactly it started so we can search in one area that's small, so it reduces where we're at. And you basically, with the fine tooth comb, they're going through the soils and seeing what kind of ignition source could have started it.
And I guess just generically speaking, in fires of this kind in the past, they're almost always caused by humans. Is that fair to say?
No, I'm not gonna. That's not fair to say. There's so many different things that start these fires.
Nor.
We're not going to draw any conclusions on this one just
No.
yet. Yeah, all right, Captain, thanks so much. John, Annabelle?
Yeah, I mean, we know it wasn't lightning, right, Rob? So we can rule that out because we haven't had any problems like that. But yeah, I guess it's going to take a while before they know what it actually caused this sort of thing. All right, Rob,
It's
thanks
not
for the
due.
information. We appreciate it. We'll check back with you.
And on the right side of your screen now, a full screen.
It is not due.
At a live picture overhead.
There is no
Now,
directed
you
energy
see
weapon.
the white smoke. Just a little while ago, I could see some active flames on the bottom corner of the screen, and then some aircraft dropping some frost chuck, trying to prevent these flames from spreading further.
Yeah, this is one of the areas that Scott was saying is really a worry for them. The Malibu area, he seemed to think was where the most dynamic fire activities happen. And we've seen some incredible drops, fire retardant drops. We had a DC-10 flying to that canyon, that big, heavy aircraft.
Whatever you want to do, buddy. Or ma'am. I don't know to call you ma'am, miss, whatever. I don't know what your real name is. And hell, I didn't even know you were a female until a couple hours ago. So whoever you want to get, send us their stuff and we'll put them on here. All right. Thanks. We'll do that. Yeah. Thanks, Maud. Greatly appreciate it.
And you were saying, folks were cheering, of course, especially in that Westfield neighborhood where Josh was a little while
All right, so let me get
they were watching the flare up and watching firefighters take care of it quite quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing political, no profanity, and you ain't got to worry about it.
And that really paid off because they stopped that fire in its tracks. That community.
Yes, he did. He told me I was going to get 8,000 trolls coming in here, and that's why I got you guys. Because there's no way I could do the content and deal with 8,000 trolls at once.
They can get in there without having to worry about their lives being put in jeopardy. A different situation in Malibu. We've got those lush canyons, a lot of vegetation, and that's the worry now. You can see white smoke right now, so that's some good sign. But, there's a lot to burn there.
The firefighters have done a really good job of protecting structures wherever they are. We know that students were told to shelter in place at Pepperdine University. That order has been lifted, and we saw the fire did actually get some flames to the campus. There was a car that was on fire, one of the bikes that was on fire, but there were no structures that were lost, and more importantly, the students were safe.
Just the fact that it got close to the buildings in Pepperdine is pretty shocking because that area has a really good protection in terms of parking lots and green grass, and it still made its way right to that bike rack next to the building. That was kind of shocking to see that, but they did get it out. Nobody was hurt. This again is seen over Malibu, and it looks like they're pushing into this smoke. It looks like they've got aircraft up there that are getting ready to make a drop. But air quality remains challenging. We do have the winds pushing this now, and then the Santa Ana winds. So that might clear that out for some people. Of course, it creates some of the other dangers, though. Let's see, do we have a drop coming up there? And let's kind of just watch this aircraft as it moves down there.
And we've seen quite a few of these, and we can't stress what a huge difference they're making for firefighters here.
It does appear to be slowing down the fire now. So yeah, the fire retardant is really slowing this thing down, and they can only hope it keeps up that way because the wind is going to keep blowing too.
And that we don't see those gusts that Kimmy was telling us about. 45 miles an hour right now. We've seen relatively strong gusts, but I don't think we've seen the worst of it just yet.
Well, it's funny because it doesn't look too bad here in Malibu, but where Rob was earlier, it looked like it was blowing pretty good. It's real spotty, and you and I saw that on the fire lines Thursday and Friday. And I was seeing a lot of shifting winds, and some depends where you are. The canyons, the topography plays a big role in which way the wind gets to start swirling around those canyon areas. That could be a problem too. But you see the air support there. A lot of fixed wing now dropping retardant on this fire. Malibu area, slowing it down. Do you want to check in with Jonathan Novak, get an update on weather now? Jonathan, you ready for this? Yeah. Good morning. Good morning to you too. You notice those clues that we saw, how vertical they were a little earlier, and same time, we're seeing gusts like you see right here on the board. So keep this in mind. 35, 45 mile per hour wind gusts, and you have very strong winds off the ground as well, but you're still seeing vertical, really tall vertical plumes. So think about it like a ball if you threw it up in the air. To get it to go straight up, you would have to throw it really fast. So that means that there is a tremendous amount of heat, because the more heat you have, the faster that air is going to rise. In order to get those plumes to go up so vertically in winds like these, which again are very strong, 35, 45 mile per hour wind gusts as you get into Ventura and LA County and the mountains there. Now, as far as the plumes, you just see that fire on the left side of your screen, sometimes we see these fires a little bit more sheltered because of the topography than other areas, so they might not be getting wind gusts like this here, as you see around Santa Clarita, 45 mile per hour wind gusts there. Topanga Canyon, about 30 to 40. Now, as we go through the rest of today, these aren't going away. We're going to be seeing continued gusts, and in fact, it looks like maybe even stronger wind gusts. Places like San Bernardino, right now, wind gusts of 30 there. You throw in the dry conditions, it is just a real recipe for continued wildfires to both break out and to spread very rapidly. And that is a huge problem here, because we're only at the beginning of what is this second Santa Ana wind event here of the week, and it is a moderate to severe event. When this is all said and done, it'll probably be Tuesday night that we're talking about. So 10%, 11% humidity, Santa Clarita, single digits in Oxnard. That is big trouble. Of course, as you know, obviously look for increased moisture to help out the situation, help firefighters out. Doesn't look to be the case until Oxnard. That is big trouble. Of course, I'm on the 17%. So you have the coast, we're seeing real dry air that's worked its way in, and that's pretty quick. I mean, we just started this morning, those gusts, and they've already worked their way to the coast after what was an onshore flow yesterday, which would be nice if we had that today. Although, you know, yesterday we had all that smoke carried in because of the flow. Today, the benefit would be, of course, as you've heard, the smoke gets pushed away, and we don't have to deal with those air quality issues, but at the same time, of course, that is the gust of Santa Ana wind that we have. So the temperatures are responding as a result of the wind direction, that offshore flow. That's a wind that comes down the mountain slopes. It warms up, it's called professional heating. Basically, gravity causes that air to compress, and the molecules get so close to each other they warm up, and so that's why we have 77 in Van Nuys, 75 Oxnard, and temperatures on the rise there in Ventura County. Through the day today, we could see about 80 degrees or close to it in a lot of those spots, and close into the ID as well. That will last as well for the next several days. This is why there's a red flag warning. This goes until Tuesday at 5 p.m. Also, we have a high wind warning in place until Tuesday. That's because the gusts in the mountains could get up to 55, maybe 70 miles per hour, a lot like what we saw earlier this week. Same in the valleys and through the LA Basin, wind gusts there about 45 possible, and that includes, as we've seen, the San Fernando Valley, as well as through Ventura County and to the mountains there, where those gusts will probably be very common. You'll see those 45 mile per hour wind gusts. Now, on top of that, we've had very cold air moving in, and the desert spots in the morning time is very chilly this morning. I want to show you that wind out of that northeast direction will stick around in the forecast. Notice that red shade. As we get a few breaks here and there, it's still very gusty. The best we're going to see here on this high-resolution computer model is about a 25 or 30 mile per hour wind gust. That's the lowest in some of these real wind-prone areas. Check this out going in tonight. We're looking at 25 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts in Santa Clarita, about 30 in Riverside. Still seeing those Santa Ana mountains with gusts. It says 12 in Santa Ana, but that red shade, don't forget, in general, that area will be seeing about 35 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts common. Now, I'll bring this to time. Watch how you'll see this pulse up through Monday in the late morning time to the afternoon. That, again, is going to be about a 50 mile per hour wind gust. And then it looks like, again, Monday night, we get another bout of these gusts in the same spots, the same direction, that northeast flow here coming right down, barreling through Ventura County to the coast. It is just going to be several days, unfortunately, and on top of what we already had, it is not looking good. And this is the fire weather forecast will show you that. Notice that red shade there, same spots we're seeing the gusts right now, same problems, or same places that we're seeing the problems right now, and that will last all the way through at least Monday, although Tuesday.
Yeah, and Sage, this is all new, buddy. I was just trying to do this for the people of the fire, thinking it was going to do a day or two, and it's just exploded. Everybody in their world is asking me to do it, and then they're being unsubscribed.
Probably some more trouble, at least at the best. I think it'll be sort of the situation on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where things are kind of brought down to at least a manageable level. Hopefully, firefighters. Until then, it's like swimming upstream. It's going to be very difficult. Valleys I-77 78, 80 degrees, very warm, very gusty. These are the conditions the next 3 days. Nothing's really changing in terms of those winds or the dry conditions. Now, the end of the work week, you get a few clouds in there by Friday, Saturday, as some moisture starts returning. That's a long stretch, 3, 4, 5 days, dry, gusty conditions there at the coast. Ventura County, Orange County, look out. Those wind gusts coming down in your area here the next few days. Mountain spots, it's going to be chilly, blustery. It's 3 days of it, basically. And then things will start to...
Is that Sir PC Quake or PC Quake? All you got is... That's Sir PC Quake. We can do something, but I don't, I just need to know if that's the one you're talking about. I was outside, guys, so sorry.
The low desert in general, about 25 mile per hour wind gusts there, maybe some 30 mile per hour wind gusts right now. But this is just the beginning. As we see through the rest of this morning, we're at 11:30 a.m. Into the early afternoon, we'll continue to see these kinds of gusts. The top end about 50 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's the campfire.
70 mile per hour wind gusts. That is on tap, it looks like, for Southern California. So, guys, not looking great right now. We're kind of at the beginning of this next round, but hopefully the best, I guess, and hopefully by the time it gets to Tuesday, maybe things will be a little bit calm by the end of the day, and things won't end up as bad as they all do right now. It's an unfortunate situation.
Right. Thank you so much, Jonathan, and for letting us know that humidity levels probably won't be good until the middle of the week, and that really is a perfect storm, unfortunately.
And this is a view again from the Malibu area, the hills above Malibu. It does look like that plume is getting a little thicker. It doesn't appear to be moving down as much, which is good.
The lights.
But there's a lot to burn in there, and it looks like a lot of it is burning right now.
Let's check in with Chelsea Edwards, who is actually not far from there. She is in Point Dume. That's right, Annabelle, in Point Dume. We just moved from our location on Wandermere. We're now on the pavilion on Heatherfoot Road. This is kind of serving as a base camp for both residents
Goodbye,
of the
Mario.
community, also serving as a base camp for the gas company who's been...
We've seen your page. We know that what you are.
And cut various lines to stop the gas flow to different properties. And I want to talk to some of you guys. You've stayed behind despite the mandatory evacuation orders. First, tell me your name.
I'm John.
All right, so,
All right. So, John, what have you been doing these last couple of days?
BC, you're the one that he's talking about as far as the